Okay, recording this video Monday 3rd December 2012. Hope you had a good day's trading today. Well, apologies for not putting a video up on the site for almost a week now. A lot going on here, working on 2 or 3 kind of different projects, one of which is a large kind of coding project with multiple time frames, and that's frankly taking a lot of my time. Coding is hard enough, and I've chosen this kind of multiple time frame kind of coding project, and so very intensive at the moment. Anyway, apologies there's not been more up on the site. But a couple of housekeeping notes. First of all, one of the things that kind of been bugging me in the site is that this how to day trade link up here, this is Emini-Watch by the way, this how to day trade link up here takes you to a page with about 30 or 40 links to the best of Emini-Watch, and I just think there's too much information, it's too kind of cluttered on this page. So what I'm going to be doing over the next few weeks is splitting this into 3 pages, and the first of those pages is how to get started day trading. The second one's going to be about how to use the better indicators, kind of a methodology type page, and the third one is how to get full time, how to kind of live the dream essentially. So the first part of splitting those up is to take out all the videos to do with starting day trading. So there's a little bit of an intro video, it's not 5 minutes, it's about 12 minutes, but then the information is divided into these sections here. Best market to trade with a bunch of links, the best charting software, bunch of links, choosing your futures broker, that's no links there, but that's kind of a tricky topic covered in the video at the top of the page, and then how to increase your chances of success, again with some links here. So hopefully, in the name of simplicity, I'm trying to get the information in Emini-Watch kind of a little bit slimmed down and easier to access. So if you want to get to this, at the moment it's just sitting under the Emini Trading tab, how to get started there right at the bottom of that tab. So eventually this is all going to be kind of cleaned up and made a little bit simpler to get around. So hopefully that's an improvement. I'll put a link at the bottom of this video to that page, just in case you want to check it out. Second kind of housekeeping note, this is to do with CME. A couple of weeks ago we got a press release out of the CME saying they were going to change the Globex timing of opens and closes of sessions, and frankly I found it all a bit confusing. It was quite difficult to get my head around what they were trying to do and why they were trying to do it. Anyway, this has effectively gone into effect November 19th, and what's happened is we now have, in terms of central time, we've got a pause at 3:15 p.m. till 3:30 p.m. Then the market reopens, and then the official close is now at 4:15 p.m. with a reopen at 5 p.m. So all a little bit odd. It's for the ES, the NASDAQ, the YM, not for the Russell, the TF, that's on a different exchange. Now, a couple of points. First of all, I don't know why they've done it, and I've kind of looked around and tried to find answers. They've been talking, some people have been talking about limiting margin calls or matching the volatility calculations and so on, and frankly I can't find any kind of decent reasoning for it. If you happen to know, please drop me a line. I'd be kind of curious to find out why. But in terms of what has it done to the charts and setups and so on, I think it's made absolutely no difference whatsoever. The good thing with TradeStation is the @es.d contracts are still closing at 3:15. So on the day session only charts on TradeStation, it's not made a jot of difference. So that's kind of good. The tick bar charts, obviously we now have gaps happening between these kind of time periods. But on the tick bar charts, frankly, that kind of time period up to 5 p.m. Is very, very light anyway. It's really kind of the few hours, 4 or 5 hours kind of before the open that makes the most difference. And so this couple of hours after the close don't make very much difference at all. In terms of setting up charts and so on, really frankly been no difference. And the good thing is with the daily charts on TradeStation not changing, that doesn't change any kind of back history or anything like that. So that's been kind of rather good. So it happened, don't really see why, and I don't think it's made much of a difference. So just an FYI. So to the charts, here's today's activity. So last week I was talking about I was looking for this pullback level to kind of come in sometime during last week, and we looked like we had a really nice kind of sell-off happening a few days ago, and then it ended up being a kind of a spike reversal. You can see it on the 40,500 tip bar chart. Ended up being this pattern here. We had this sell-off into a pullback level. We've now made pullback to end of trend. So we've overshot this pullback level. Usually pullback levels in uptrends and downtrends are really pretty solid signals. They kind of turn around just because they're good. They're continuation signals in the direction of the trend, so they usually kind of turn on a dime and just kind of keep going. This one we've overshot a little bit. We overshot with a high volume churn bar on Friday. They're on a better volume. That means relatively high volume, relatively low range, which suggests profit taking. And then with today's activity, we kind of gapped up into the 2022s first thing in the morning, and then we've spent the whole day kind of selling off. We're now down at 1408s. The ISM numbers came out, were particularly weak, and so this thing just kind of tanked. So potentially the pullback to end of trend is still kind of good, but we've made a breach of this pullback level. So still think it's going to kind of come due, but we've also got kind of Christmas rally kind of talk in here. This has been stronger than I thought. So the bonds have been fairly strong, which would suggest the money's flowing into safety. Dollar index though has been fairly weak, so it's a bit of a mixed, clouded kind of picture. Whether we're going to have like the big sell-off that I was hoping for with pullback to end of trend and kind of breaching this level here and kind of keep going, I don't know. So because we did that, it's come good today, but who knows. So I'm just kind of watching that. It's a bit stronger than I expected. On the 45-minute chart, it has been a pullback to end of trend kind of signal going off here. We've ended up with exhaustion buying up here in bearish divergence. Now, because this exhaustion buying happened on the end of trend instead of on the shoulder, that means we're waiting for second cyclical turn after end of trend. So that means we've got to sit through a little bit of down move and up move over the next day or two to kind of play this thing out properly. So let's see if the weakness kind of comes in after a couple of days of that kind of activity going on. In terms of this 40,500 tip bar chart, now remember this chart very similar to the 45-minute chart, so I look at the two together. And this one, we had this sell-off, ended up being a flush pattern here, and we bounced off there, but the bounce has been very weak. You can see all these bearish divergence signals, and the buying's been very weak, very close to the zero line, so we've been falling off here. So I'd have liked to have ended up with kind of an exhaustion pattern and then rolls over and kind of convincingly kind of gets going in the other way, but we've not had that. It's kind of just hanging around. 1400 again is still kind of key, so let's see how this plays out over the next couple of days. Better X trend, we did breach this level. Initially it looked like it was going to work out like beauty, with the trailing stock coming behind, but then we punched above it on the Thursday, and we've ended up trailing the stop up the other way. Sometimes you do get these patterns, they kind of just overshoot a little bit and then continuation, so we've overshot on the upside. And 1405, I think the trailing stop is down here, so that 1400 level closing below there is absolutely key to see this kind of continue on the way down. In terms of today's day trading, here's the 1500 tip bar chart. Well, we had a beauty set up this morning. Coming into the open today, we had this kind of overshoot level. All these blue professional bars kind of coming at the highs, taking profits. And then after the open, you can see a whole bunch of blue professional bars again at the highs. And we're closing, we breached the lows of those blue professional bars, showing that the professionals were selling short and getting this move, ready for this move. The ISM numbers kind of came out, bang, we dropped down there. I was short 2075, got out on my target. Don't like holding through news releases like that, but there was no blue professional bars signaling that this was going to hold, and in fact when the news release kind of came out, bang, just got taken out there. Got a nice email from Keith, he got taken out the same thing. He was short 1419, got taken out on that move again, so one shot, one kill is really nice. Market kind of continued down, pullback to end of trend with a bullish divergence, so exhaustion on the left shoulder, first bullish divergence kind of comes in, pullback to end of trend. That looks good for a reversal kind of trade. It's within our window of activity, kind of before 11 in the morning for a potential reversal, but we get into more blue professional bars up here at 16. A Rambo pattern resistance kind of comes in very weak, and we just continue on down. So we've made into the close today. It's 236 at the moment. We're coming into more exhaustion patterns kind of down here. Blue professional bars kind of coming in, the move's starting to slow down a little bit, so let's see if that kind of catches it for today, and see if we kind of try and rally from there kind of first thing tomorrow. So there we go, not much else to say. I suppose I just was a little bit just put off that this kind of breached, the pullback level kind of breached. Who knows? I'm still thinking, we're coming into Christmas, the market's going to get quiet, going to talk Christmas rallies. We've got all this talk about bloody fiscal cliff. I'm sick of it. I'm sure everybody's sick of it. And what difference that makes, I really don't know. But they'll use any little news announcement to wing this thing around. So I think we're going to see quite a lot of volatility kind of coming into Christmas time. So, and then as the picture becomes clearer, we'll end up in some kind of trend move. My guess is on the way down because we've had so much weakness kind of play into these highs, but just take each one day at a time. Anyway, hope you traded it well today.